The following is a production of the Dallas Genealogical Society. For more information, please visit our website at www.dallasgenealogy.org.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for braving the NRA traffic. Did y'all have any trouble getting in? No. Yes, I heard one yes. Well, I was worried because at one point it looked like they had closed Wood yesterday, and I thought, ooh, can't get in. Where do I park? Where do I get into the garage? Oh, wait a minute. It's doing its own timing thing.
You can fix that.
Let's see. I don't think I hit anything.
It's your fault. You did it.
I did it.
Sure. This thing always wants to default back to that. And I don't know why. Should be good to go.
All right. I can be technical, really. Well, good morning. Thank you all for coming, and I know there's some faces that I don't recognize. So if you're a guest here, thank you for joining us this morning. Normally, the person standing at this podium would be our president, Todd D. Decker. He has a daughter graduating from college today, so he's in Nebraska. And I'm Kristen Moore. I'm the vice president of the society, and I have taken care of running the seminars, getting the speakers for our big seminars. The minutes from our previous meeting are both available on the website and posted on the door in the lobby. Are there any additions, corrections? Seeing none, we will consider the minutes approved. Thank you. Our secretary says thank you. I counted up, in order to have a quorum at Society General Business meetings, we have to have at least 21 people, and we do, so thank you for coming. I didn't get the exact number, so Caroline will have to check with Gloria. And I'm going to call up Travis to talk about the treasurer's report. Good morning.
Good morning. The Dallas Genealogical Society Statement of Cash Flows for the month ended April 30th, 2018 show that cash receipts totaled for the month $1,655. Cash disbursements totaled $697 for a net increase in cash of $958, leaving a $164,532 balance of cash in the bank. Thank you.
Any questions or corrections? Hearing none, we will approve that report and file it for review. Thank you, Travis. All right. A number of you may be familiar with our contest to bring a friend so that you could get in a drawing to win a scholarship for a attendance at a seminar, one of the upcoming seminars. Well, we were going to originally do the drawing in May, and here's why we're not. We got into cleaning mode of the storage closet that we have on the 8th floor, and somehow the tickets got thrown away. Yeah. So we're not going to draw this month. If you brought a friend in the past year and have your ticket, please contact Gloria and at membership@dallasgenealogy.org and provide her with the details. And so that you have time to do that, we will delay that drawing until September.
Please accept our apologies.
Okay, we have some fabulous volunteers in this group, and I want to particularly call out the folks who've been working on cataloging the McGowan Funeral Home. Tony, do you want to get up and talk?
So we've talked about this collection before, but if you're not familiar with it, it is a collection of all of the funeral records from the McGowan Funeral Home that was located here in Dallas and closed business several years ago. And the Dallas Public Library has inherited all of the records and have them up on the 8th floor, kind of back in the employee-only area. And so what the members of the McGowan, or the members of our African American Genealogical Interest Group have been doing is going through all of those files one by one and creating an online index. So for every folder, they're going through and recording information about who is the person and all of the details about that. And it's been a fairly long, drawn-out process because there are a lot of records. But they are working now on some tools that we've provided. We've gone from spreadsheets to an online database. They can have multiple people working at the same time, and that has really picked up the pace of the effort and the interest. And so I understand that they are closing in and being very close to actually finishing the indexing of what is believed to be about 5,000 records. So it's a tremendous asset. The McGowan Funeral Home was predominantly served the black community in the Dallas area, so it is something of very strong interest to that particular group, but to all of us as historians. And so it's a great resource, and we're just tickled pink to have this amount of information available. It's live, so as they add information to the database, it is available on our website just as soon as they hit enter. So it is kind of a living, growing database of things available for anybody who wants to research this area of history. You're certainly available. It is available for you to do so. So, again, to the members of the African American group that have been doing this, we certainly extend our thanks for adding to the wonderful online record of Dallas.
Tony hasn't seen the foils that I put.
I haven't. Okay, so something that many of you I know noticed this morning was we have a very active group of people in the back of the break room over there, our genealogy research mentors. That's something that we've introduced relatively recently, starting, I believe, in January of this year. And the idea is, if you have a question about your genealogy, bring it and try to stump the champs. We've got some very knowledgeable people back there, but more than anything, I think you'll find if you haven't had a chance to sit with them, they're very interested and engaging. And if you bring a question that they can't answer or don't know an answer to, we'll bring it here and ask this audience and the 400 and so people who get recordings of these meetings every month too, and put your question out there and probably come up with a pretty good answer. But just again, no question is too trivial, no question is too hard, because I'm not the one volunteering to answer them. So bring them and see if you can't stump the chumps. And we have one more. Another thing that those of you that have been coming to our meetings for a while remember fondly, no doubt, Bob and Linda Lane, who were incredible at doing all of our refreshments for all of our meetings. Well, they've got a life, and after about 5 years of dedicated service, they have stepped down. And so what we have gone to for our general meetings is we have volunteers who actually come, bring the refreshments that we all enjoy before the meeting, and then diligently take it down when the meeting starts. And so it is a volunteer position. The society will reimburse you for your costs. We just ask for a couple of people to sign up and volunteer to do that on a forward-going basis. And so, we're reaching our summer break, so we don't need anybody right now, but we will, starting in September, be asking for a couple of volunteers for every general meeting. And again, it's a great way to kind of give back a little bit to the society. You're responsible for showing up. You're just basically responsible for showing up, making the coffee, picking up a few things at the store, and putting it out, and then taking up at the end of the meeting as well. So our thanks to the people who have done it. Patty has done this in previous months. Kathleen Murray is out there doing it right now. I had to hand it in. If anybody else has volunteered, Susan Younger has done it in the past. Again, just kind of a great way to get into the library early, get a chance to give back to society, and just kind of show your support for our organization. So I would encourage you to all think about doing that. It's really easy to go to our website. There's a volunteer sign-up sheet. You just put your name and make the coffee. Thanks to those who have done it, and thanks to those who are about to.
Thank you. We just need a few people from September through May. So consider signing up once a year. We have a number of the supplies in the storage room. You don't have to bring everything, and it's a pretty well documented process. So don't let it be this huge thing. It's manageable. And I found this in an old presentation. I just thought it was wonderful. Volunteers do not necessarily have the time. They have the heart. And I want to take this opportunity to thank all the people who have volunteered with, as Tony said, the McGowan, the mentoring, the refreshments, the seminars. We can't do it alone. We are a group. You're members and you benefit from it, but we also need your help to keep this organization going. All right. So it's time for the election for the next year. And we have the following slate of officers. Todd D. Decker will continue as president. Jim Thornhill is nominated for vice president. Caroline Simpson. I have friends who pronounce it both ways, and I'm always confused. To repeat as secretary, and Travis will continue as treasurer. Unless there are some nominations from the floor, I'd like to consider a motion from somebody to approve this slate. Gene Larson. Gene Larson made the motion, and Tony seconded. So, since this slate is unopposed at this time, can we just have a simple raise of hands to approve the slate of officers for the next year?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you very much. We are going to be looking over the next summer for people for some a number of positions. There's some directorships that are available, some appointed positions, newsletter. Tony, do you want to say anything further about that?
I will. Hopefully you all have noticed, first of all, the great job that Karen Marshall has done with our newsletter over the past year. It has really been great. Unfortunately for us, Karen also has a life and is no longer going to be editing the newsletter, and is going to be pursuing remodeling and a few other things going on in her life. So again, thank you for the wonderful job you did in launching the newsletter, but that's one example of something we're looking for some volunteers for. Jim is going to be filling in or stepping into the vice president's role and doing the IT administration for a while, but that's something he'd like a little bit of help with. There's a number of opportunities for you and you that I'm talking to that aren't in the room, that hopefully are going to hear the recording, to get involved and help us run the society. It's great fun. You know, we haven't had a good time doing this. It's a great opportunity to learn. Anybody who's on the board will tell you that we kind of stretch people's capabilities just a little bit. So I just would encourage you to think about getting involved. You know, no amount of participation is too small. We'll take, an hour a week, if they're an hour a month, if that's all you got. We'll find something for you to do, believe me. So if you're interested, just contact any member of the board of directors. I do want to talk to the next president, and that's not Todd, because Todd is our next president. But we need to be thinking as a society, really long term. And when Todd finishes his term a year from now, we're going to be looking for another president for the society. And so those don't just grow on trees, unfortunately, or we'd have an orchard of them. It does require, one of our requirements is that if you are considering running or serving as president, you have to spend some time on the board in a voting position. So again, for those of you that have never been on the board before, I would just encourage you to think a little bit. If you've got some leadership skills and some desires and really want a challenging but rewarding position, think about it. And you've got a year to kind of groom yourself, get yourself a position on the board, learn what we do, how we do it, and think about getting engaged. And kind of start thinking about taking on more responsibility to help run what is what is a really great society. We have a lot of fun doing this. We have a lot of fun putting these meetings on, and I think you would too. So, if not a year from now, then maybe 2 years from now, maybe 3 years from now. But be thinking about it, get involved, help get some background, and think about helping lead the society at some point. We would welcome your participation. So, thank you very much.
Now to survey. We've got All right, this is my bailiwick. It's the seminar series. For 2018, we had Michael Strauss in March, and we had 96 attendees. And we sent out a survey. We've got 66% response rate, and over 96% rated it themselves extremely satisfied or very satisfied. And I want to thank, again, all the volunteers. I don't see a whole lot of them here today, but I want to thank, Gene Larson and Barbara Ware and the members of the board, Mark and Linda. You guys really, and Maureen, we cannot do it without you. Patty, of course. I just have a couple of comments that I got from the survey. Great speaker. Stayed up late checking out sites he mentioned. He held audience interest all day. Each of his top day seminar. Please have him back. And Michael Strauss was one of the best I have heard. He shared a vast wealth of information in a limited amount of time. It might have helped if more detailed information resources were cited in the syllabus, but he was extremely knowledgeable and had a lot to cover in so short a time. I enjoyed him greatly. Also on the survey, we do get comments about the facilities, particularly the bathrooms. I have passed them on to the library liaison. And at least to me, it seemed a little bit better today. I know they try their hardest, but I do pass that information on. So our next speaker is going to be Mark Lowe on Saturday, August 4th. He is from the Kentucky-Tennessee area and specializes in Southern research, and is just such a fun person to listen to, as well as being knowledgeable. Yeah, Lou's going, yeah. Just thrilling. He's going to be the session topics. You'll be getting a brochure in the mail shortly. We're finalizing that this week, and you should be getting it in the next 3 or 4 weeks, I would guess. But the sessions are going to be Finding Uncle John by Talking to the Neighbors, Finding Black Roots in a White World. We were talking about that with Maurice before the meeting. The Migration Triangle, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Kentucky, and Tennessee. And then I've heard him speak on this one, and it's just a fun one. Circuit Riders in the Early Methodist Church. Yeah, it's a fun one, and even if you don't have Methodist ancestors, because the circuit riders were going around, it's just really interesting. And then our fall seminar will be David Rencher, who is the Chief Genealogical Officer at Family Search. I think that's right. So he's a certified specialist on Ireland. So most of the 3 of the topics will be on Ireland and Irish research, and then we can't have him here and not have him talk about what's new on Family Search. So we were also working on 2019. I've given you some save the dates in the past, and we may be tweaking those a little bit. I can confirm 2 speakers so far, even though I can't give you solid dates. Michael Lacapo is going to come back in the spring of 2019. Yay. If you've followed his Hoosier Daddy blog, he's from Indiana, Hoosier Daddy. That's a fascinating story. And then the legal genealogist, Judy Russell, will be back in August. Still trying to finalize the fall and see if we can come. We have a speaker in mind. We're just trying to tweak the dates and see if we can work it out. Tony mentioned the African American interest group. We also have other special interest groups, including Jewish, DNA, African American, as I said, Brown Bag, which is general topics, and MacGen Reunion Software, Roots Magic, and Next Gen Site Builder. Technology didn't show up here. Is that because we're hitting the summer?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. But these are the ones that are upcoming. Now, we're on summer hiatus after this. So our next general meeting will be September 8th. And Betsy Mills will talk to, and I really need her help because I'll tell you in a minute, but dating, preserving, and sharing old photos will be our speaker. And the reason I need this information is because I'm going to get emotional here. I'm stepping down as vice president today at the board meeting because my husband and I are relocating to Michigan. Yeah, on May 21st. So in going through the packing last night, I finally dug out the archival boxes, and I found so many old photos back into the late 1800s, early 1900s, cyanotypes, daguerreotypes, tintypes. I need Denise Levinik, who's the specialist in archiving things, to come back because I found an original will from 1811, handwritten. I found a baptismal certificate from 1861. So it's a good thing I'm retired because I've got my work cut out for me once we get up there. So, but I've really enjoyed working with the board and working with the volunteers and getting to know you all. And I'll miss you. Something about going to bed at 2 o'clock because we're packing madly and only having 5 hours of sleep. All right, well, let's move on to today. Today's program, I'm going to bring Patty Huff-Smith up because not only is Todd gone to see his daughter graduate, Lisa Ross is up at the National Genealogical Society conference in Grand Rapids. and she would normally be introducing. So I'm going to turn it over to Patty.
This has been a presentation of the Dallas Genealogical Society. If you're already a member, thank you. Your membership dues are supporting this and other society activities. If you're not yet a member, I hope you consider joining. You can become a member for as little as $35 a year, and you can join by going to our website, dallasgenealogy.org, and clicking on the membership tab.